Hello and welcome to Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go! As you may have noticed, I am not your usual host Charlie, I am Leah. You might usually find me on Forza Monthly, but I'm very excited to be here live and in person from this wonderful streaming space here at Playground Games. Actually my first time here at Playground Games, despite being on Forza Monthly for like 2 years now. And we have some lovely guests with us as well. So, no, not yet. We are going to look at what's coming up on the show, and then you can say hi. Let's check out the stream schedule. With May just around the corner, we're going to be celebrating Cinco de Mayo in, a way that only the Horizon Festival can. And then we're going to be looking at some of the many new cars you can be driving this series. We're going to have some changes for Horizon Tour events, and you'll want to know about those, especially if you're an accolade hunter. And then we're going to be looking at some of the bug fixes coming this series, including a few that I'm sure players are going to be very happy about. And then we're going to recap Thorburn Thursday. I mean, you can figure out what happened there. But we'll take a look at the clues you might have missed this month. And then, finally, we'll be looking at some new cosmetics and car horns you can be earning over the next few weeks. And when I said finally, I didn't mean it, because we've got another thing. Because we'll be doing a deep dive into all the events and challenges coming your way in the Series 7 Festival playlist. There we go. Speed. So now we can do introductions. Hello! On the sofa this month to talk to us about all things Series 7, we have Creative Director Mike Brown. Hello.
Hey, Leah.
Hi.
Oh, you're in the person.
I know,
I've spoken to you through a screen so many
We're all
times.
3D. It's crazy. Life isn't a simulation and figuring it out. You are BAFTA fresh. To spoil it.
If we can get the shot of the BAFTA. Yes. 2 weeks ago, a few of us went down to the BAFTAs and came home victorious with our BAFTA.
Is it heavy?
It's quite heavy, yeah.
Oh.
I was not going to move it because
Damage.
this table's a little bit unstable, but no, I'm going to pass it to you now. There you go. Let's hold that. There you go.
Oh my god, it is heavy. That's heavy. I mean, it should be, right? If it was really light, you'd be like, I've been cheated. Well, this is mine, thank you. Well, excellent. Well, it's a pleasure to have you back on Let's Go. I'll give you this
pop
back.
it down.
Yeah.
That's
I don't break
best
something.
British game, so absolutely thrilled to have picked that up.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And we also have on the show our resident car expert, Mr. Chris Phillips, who can do lots of talking about the vehicles.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
That's my only purpose.
You're like, no, I'm actually here for something else. Who, not BAFTA fresh, apparently, because I've already given Mike the introduction. So, yeah.
It's Chris's too. It's a
No, it's yours.
It's not mine, it's not mine.
And of course, we have our social media manager, Giuseppe. Hello.
Hello. Can I speak now? Yeah.
Yes, you can speak.
Okay, no, yes. Well, first of all, nice to see you in person. Glad to be here. I'm a little bit shaky, not like last time, a little bit less, 80%.
Okay. But you were
still
shaky
nervous.
last time.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Like,
He was terrified.
I was terrified.
Was that the first time you'd been on any camera? Because it
No.
suddenly seemed like it.
Yeah, no. I pretend I do, but I didn't. But here it's amazing to be.
That's the secret. You're always a little bit scared. No matter
Always.
what, if you're on a show.
Yeah, it's like Hulk, but instead of being hungry, I'm nervous. So basically.
Well, you don't seem nervous. There's a lot of confidence exuding. I'm basking in it. So let's start by talking about Cinco de Mayo. It's the topic of the day. So for those of us who haven't heard about it, what is Cinco de Mayo Festival? What is it? What's it all about?
So, yes, the Horizon Festival is inviting the world to join us in celebration of Cinco de Mayo, which is a festival that celebrates all things Mexico, Mexican culture, Mexican cuisine, and brings that to the world. So there'll be a lot of things this month which are in celebration of that. I think we're going to have Dave on in a little bit to talk about that in a bit more detail.
Can't see him, but he's in the corner.
He's in the corner waving.
Love that. Well, there we go. So Cinco de Mayo very much going to be celebrated in Forza Horizon 5, as it should be, of course, And not only that, but we've got lots of new vehicles, new cars, and we can see some of the celebrations in the world of Horizon Mexico. And we're going to do so by having a look in one of the new cars available this series, the Ford SVT Lightning. Now, when you say Lightning, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't expecting something a bit like sleeker looking, a bit like meow. So tell us more.
That is the best description I've ever heard.
This is a very fast truck.
It's a very, very. In fact, when it came out, it was the world's fastest truck.
Wow.
Yeah, it could do 147 miles an hour, which is insanely
Looks
fast.
so deceiving. I'm judging a truck by its cover.
I mean, that's for a truck, that is very fast, especially when it came out in kind of early 2000s. It's had a 5.4 litre supercharged V8. I think it's 380 horsepower, which is quite a lot for back then. And just, an absolutely incredible. I really like the look of this thing. This and the Mustang from the serie, I really like. But this is also famous for being in a fairly well-known film. It was in Fast and Furious 1. It has a really nice moment where they stack it full of car bits and drive it to go and soup up a Supra. So I think the community is really kind of wanting for this one. So this is one of the car pass cars for this series.
Cool. I love the little step on the side there. That really, it's like it's inviting you to kind of hang on to the side while someone else is driving, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love the idea of just like two friends either side. You're all on a road trip. So I'm going to ask a question you're going to hate me to ask. What's SVT stand for? SVT Lightning.
Special vehicle. Oh my god.
Chat?
Technology?
Technology asset.
Hey.
Technology. My mind went totally blank there.
At the end of this, he's going to hate me, curse me. Throwing these curveballs at me, woman. I mean, I don't know. For some reason in my mind, I can't combine like truck and fast truck. It just doesn't marry in my head. It shows how much experience I've had with trucks, really, doesn't it? Because there's some really fast trucks out there.
Yeah, there's very, very fast trucks now. Yeah, this truck actually kind of spawned that. So it was built to go up against some of the GMC cars, the Typhoon and the Cyclone. Yeah, they are brilliant names. So Ford followed it up with a Lightning, which is equally cool and weather themed.
What do you reckon you could fit in the back of that thing?
A barbecue.
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot of super parts, I reckon.
Yeah, lots of super parts.
Excellent. Well, shall we have a look? We don't want to dive too much into Cinco de Mayo, which we're absorbing.
We're absorbing the beautiful,
through the world.
the beautiful theming around
Yeah.
Guanajuato, yes.
You might have seen some of the what are they called?
Bunting.
But yes, bunting. Different parts of the celebration happening. But we're going to wait a little bit because we're going to talk about that. How we're celebrating it Horizon style a little bit later in the show. So for now, why don't we look at another new car? Why not? This series we have the Nissan Safari 370Z. So first of all, point of contention: is it Z or Z?
I say Z.
I love that everyone looks straight to you immediately.
I think it's Z. I think that's how people would normally say it. And didn't you say earlier that in the US it's usually, they would refer to it as Fair Lady?
Yes, so it is a Fair Lady.
So I think we can claim it as British English and go Z.
Oh, I like that logic.
I'm having it. So
Okay, all right. So we're saying Z.
I think
I'm
so.
saying Z.
But born out of the fact that this model on which the car is spec'd out from is termed Fair Lady in North America, but is usually 350 or 370Z for Europe.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
And this one in particular, this is a tribute to the 1971. I've got to try and get this right. 1971 East Africa. I think it was East Africa. The 19th running of the East African Safari winner, which looked like this. Sorry, I totally butchered all of that. It's a lot to remember for this.
It looked like that sounded like you were reading a really distant auto cue.
Quite an iconic car. In 1971, it won a safari rally. Safaris, they're not really a thing anymore. They used to be these really grueling endurance races. To win one was quite a challenge. So Nissan did that with the Fair Lady back then. And it looked a bit like this, but it was the old style Fair Lady. And Chris Forsberg decided to make his own tribute to it. This car is built to American rally regulations, so if he wanted to, he could race it. So it's got incredible suspension on it, got all the safety stuff you'd expect for it. And the engine's fairly stock because for rallying, you don't really want huge horsepower. So it's in around, I think, 200, 300 horsepower mark. I can't remember. Yeah, about 300.
A silly question. What's the difference between American rally regulations and UK? Is there UK rally regulations?
It's subtle differences. So it's just dependent on the governing bodies. So the World Rally Series is run by the FIA, and the Americans have their own series. I think it's
just got their own.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it's subtle differences, but for the most part, same kind of regulations.
Okay, fair enough. Right, we've got any more interesting facts about this thing then? So Any celebrities in our? No, not
Just Chris Forsberg.
Yeah, it's just his. I mean, this is like his dream car that he built.
What's that stuck on the right hand side near the wing mirror?
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be a spotlight.
Oh, there we go.
So yeah, you have obviously the spotlights out front, but then the passenger side, there's normally like a little thing the passenger could grab onto to move it around.
From the back, we were just getting a view of it. I wondered if it was like a mounted camera or something. Like Chris Forsberg's actually mounted a camera for some of his videos, and then we've just modelled that in.
We do that quite a lot. There's quite a few cars that have GoPro mounts modelled on them because at the time of sourcing there was a GoPro mount on it, so we did that. This one also sounds really nice.
There you go.
Does sound pretty meaty, yeah. Big fan of that. All right, well, so let's have a little talk about Horizon Tour then. So for those of you who might not be familiar with Horizon Tour, would you like to explain what it is and what's new in Series 7?
Yeah, sure. So Horizon Tour is our cooperative PvE multiplayer game mode. You team up with either a team of friends or some people that you've met online and take on a team of drivatars. You take on a championship of 3 races across the world, and you also do the drives between the races, so you'll get to kind of group up together and drive across the world. Cool thing about Horizon Tour is that it has kind of more limiting vehicle restrictions than, say, the Horizon Open. So rather than it saying it's A-class, it might say it's B-class BMW, and it kind of forces you into certain corners of the car list and gets you to experience more the huge car list that Forza Horizon offers.
I guess one of those things where I feel like sometimes you don't realise your favourite car's lurking somewhere without you realising until you're forced to play it, and you're like, oh, hang on, I actually really like this one. So that's really nice. It's not just a tour of different locations; it's a tour of different cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I think you're right. I think when you dive into what people's actual favourite cars are, they're rarely the fastest cars. It's the cars that they love for some other reason, and the Horizon Tour can kind of take you there.
Yeah.
At SHIP, there were 30 different championships. We're adding quite a lot more than that now. Over 200, in fact, will be added to it, so there'll be much more variety in there, including S2, which people will be happy to hear about because you previously didn't have any S2 restrictions in there at all. I think if we
jump into it?
Jump into
Yeah,
one now,
let's jump in. Let's have a look at it. I mean, and that means you can actually earn the Power Trip accolade, right?
This one's not S2.
You couldn't do that. Oh, so what have you done?
We've got someone upstairs doing some server shenanigans to get this to work, and I wonder if we need to get the message up there. I don't know. Is anybody doing that, like, wipe at the throat sign?
So, with the Horizon Tours then, have there been any that you've particularly enjoyed? Like, is there any that stood out to you so far that have been quite enjoyable to race in? Yeah,
for me, I mean, I will say I kind of called out B-Class BMW earlier. I think that is just a really cool one just because it pushes you into a load of cars that are really fun to drive at stock. So, yeah, that would be my pick.
It challenges you quite a lot as well, doesn't it? Because, I mean, some of them, I mean, for example, I don't really like front-wheel drive cars. Do you know why? I can't drive them. I'm just rubbish with them. So
That's okay, that's normal.
I avoid them. Thank you for the validation. So I tend to avoid them, and, you know, if I'm forced into driving them, then eventually you probably get better, won't you? It's good. It's a good thing.
Do you want to abandon this if it's going to be...
to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what server shenanigans have been done and if it's going to put you into an S2 or not.
No.
Just getting a good move on with it.
Okay,
Ignore it. Well, with the inclusion of this, then we can finally earn the Power Trip accolade. Hey, accolade. I say it differently every time. I'm sure, which you'll be pleased about if you love.
Sounds very fancy when you say it like that.
Accolade. Accolade. So if you are a completionist, then that is something you can now do. So yay. Well, if we were to play an S2 event, what vehicle would you use? Is there something in mind?
This series, it's got to be the Ferrari SF90. Stradale,
No.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, it's not. Look. All right, look. One of the reasons why I'm here is that I can make some jokes with the pronunciation actually being Italian. No, but SF actually, if I want to pronounce it in Italian way, I should say SF90 Stradale. Mine actually, you know, Stradale. So yeah, but actually, it's not that bad. That's good.
It just sounds so much better when Italian says
It does, I know.
it just does.
So you can put on as much of an accent as you want, but it's not going to sound good, is it?
But anyway, about the car.
Anyways.
I'll get out of this as soon as I can. So yeah, the SF is this going to fall?
You're going to have to enter it then quick.
Yeah. quickly flick through it. Yeah, so SF90, so the 90, that refers to it being Ferrari's 90th anniversary this year, which is quite incredible. They've been around for 90 years, and it's built to celebrate that. And it's a real technological marvel. So if you remember back 10 years ago, funnily enough, they did the LaFerrari as the kind of the celebration back then.
It's been 10 years since the LaFerrari.
10 years since
Oh,
LaFerrari.
my
Or
God.
near, yeah, 2012. It was
Yeah.
2012 LaFerrari, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was in Horizon 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
been quite a long time.
Good.
I still think the Enzo's a new car. In fact, when I moved that to retro supercars, I think it moved into retro supercars for 5, I was like, I'm old.
It's going to keep happening, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, because that's a rolling thing. Anyway, sorry, SF90.
We should actually call out something here while we're here in the tour, shouldn't we? So here's a new feature. You may remember that previous iterations of Horizon Tour would have you race against 6 completely random gamer tags. Often, weirdly, it would pick like level 1 driver tars. No more. You'll now race against the colourful cast of Forza Horizon 5. So Rami, Alejandra, Alex, Charles from Born Fast, and Jay will be the people that you'll race against, and equally there'll be a different cast in the trial as well.
So no longer getting obliterated by XX Noob Slayer XX.
Exactly, you'll now get obliterated by Rami, who everyone knows and loves.
Takes the edge off a bit, you know.
And the fact that there'll be the same racers in every race that you do, you'll start to kind of pick out their driving personalities as well.
And
So
then you've got rivals that you despise, but you've got a face to a name, so you feel kind of...
Yeah, you can really grow to hate these people.
Yeah. I actually have a question. Wait, what does stradale mean?
Right, so stradale is to indicate like a type of a car that goes, strada means road in Italian. So stradale basically means that it's on the road. So
Right.
it's a car
Just a road car.
for the road car.
So that sounds so much cooler than the meaning. Stradale, road car.
It used to denote when they built a race car and they had to homologate it for the road. The road
Right.
version would be called the stradale, because it was the road
Thank you,
version
Chris.
of it.
I was thinking like, so in English it would just be like the Jaguar Road.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking car though, it's very sleek. Very.
Yeah.
I love the different, are those vents at the back I assume, next to the rear window? There's like the...
Yes, they are, yeah.
The different vent designs of different cars, I don't know, it's just, I always love that.
details.
It's always one of those where you look at it and go, is it style or is it performance?
Yeah.
It's a Ferrari, it's both.
That's a good answer there. I'll take that. There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, so yeah, as I was saying, this one's a real technological marvel. So the LaFerrari, they started to move towards hybrid. This is really embracing hybrid. So it's actually a plug-in hybrid. Hence, you've got the two fuel fillers, which we were confused about earlier. One of them is for charging it, and the other one is for filling it with petrol. So the combination of the engine, which is a slightly better version of the one found in the F8 Tributo, went out to 4 litres, twin turbo V8. That's making 780 horsepower. And then the 3 electric motors take up to nearly 1,000 horsepower. And that makes it the fastest accelerating Ferrari ever, and potentially fastest ever production car, as it has, so Ferrari's claimed 2.5 seconds to 60, but people have tested it and it's doing it in 2.
That's mad. That's significant.
That's very fast.
Like,
Actually,
you'd think they'd be like, yeah, go on then. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's
It
crazy.
is kind of unusual.
It is unusual.
Yeah.
Normally Ferrari are bang on with their numbers, but yeah. I think that was tested on a drag strip, so a bit better traction. But
Downhill?
Yeah.
Wind behind them?
All right, well, let's take a look at another new car because we've got mountains of them. This time, can you guess? It's another Ferrari.
Another
Wild.
Ferrari.
The Ferrari F8 Tributo. I don't know why I added a bit of a tributo.
Okay, the Italian word is F8 Tributo, but
I'm never going to get it right.
that's fine. That's good.
Tributo.
Tributo. That's fine.
It's always so satisfying to say, even if you do it wrong. It's something really musical. So talk us through the Tributo then.
So this is replacing the 488, so it's the kind of core or staple car in Ferrari's lineup. So this is their mid-engined V8 supercar. As I mentioned, it runs the same engine that the SF90 has. It's the F154, which is a phenomenal engine. It's won 14 International Engine of the Year awards for people that go to those. Actually, it is really...
I bet they would mock up after as well, wouldn't they? Like,
Yeah.
best British game, who cares?
We've got 14 International Engine of the Year awards. But no, it is an incredible engine. So in the F8 Tributo, it's actually the same engine that was in the Ferrari 488 Pista, which is the track car. And we're running, I think it's 710 horsepower, which is an absolutely monumental number for an everyday supercar.
Everyday
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. You could daily this easily, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Ferrari make a bike rack for this. You just shove it on like a mountain bike. We were talking about earlier the custom suitcases.
They might.
If you ask nice enough and pay them enough, I'm sure they will make it a bike rack.
Yeah, they often have like snowboard racks and stuff. Don't
Yeah.
they? So yeah.
Okay, all right. I would like to see this with a bike
haven't
rack.
confirmed it, but they do have a surprising selection.
Oh, no.
Chris.
Have you got insurance?
Ruined.
Because the car costs quite a lot. I've been told, so.
That's a little. I mean, we're talking about this on Forza Monthly as well. This is one of the cars that has like you've got that driver info on the passenger side as well. So as a passenger, you can be like, should have slipped in the fifth gear there. I don't know. It's a taxi driver.
Maybe the last time they're the passenger.
So yeah, that's we spoke about that a little bit on Forza Monthly, and it's we got and more content though, because we now need to move on to talk about the bug fixes, everyone's favourite topic. So now normally bug fixes is something we'll talk about towards the end of the show, but we've got some big ones to talk about this time. So take it away.
So now let me use some technology here, as known as paper, to read the not the full list of the release notes that actually are live right now, but you can check it on the support website right now. But just stick around so I can make some jokes. So essentially, as we already talked about, you now can complete Power Trip Accolade in Horizon Tour thanks to the introduction of the S2 events. Now we have a few other fixes for accolades, like now we are talking. It's like protocol like this. Now we're talking. It's go time. Prophet of Regrets and the 7-day wonder, they're all fixed. And talking about festival playlists, these two are quite interesting because there were a few mentions here and I read it on social media. Specifically for the treasure chest, sometimes when you were resolving the clue, the treasure chest was not appearing for somebody. Now it should be fixed. And the Forzathon Weekly Challenge usually, well not usually, sometimes it was happening and some players that couldn't see the first step recognized. Should not be the case anymore, which is great. Like we already said, we added some specific driver names to Horizon Open and the trial, so no more Noob Master 69, it's a shame. And also for speaking about online, for those that, I don't know how, congratulations for doing that, reached and surpassed level 1000 on, yeah, I know. The game's not gonna crash anymore if you complete it.
Bug.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It crashes only for the most dedicated.
Exactly.
You love our game so much. No more.
Still talking about online, we fixed a scenario where if you were enjoying with your convoy a complex event lab event, it could result in the convoy not joining the event. Now it should be fixed. Speaking of Event Lab, we have new collectibles added to the Event Lab props, including a T-Rex, one of the ones that we used to do the post about Ladies and Gentlemen, the weekend. If you know the meme, you know what I'm talking about.
If you don't know the meme, that sounds crazy.
Incredible, isn't it? Right. We also added some new conditions for Get Torque Scalar and Get Gravity Scalar to the Event Lab rules. So if you want to play with the torque and with the gravity rule, it's what it was on the Torben Tuesday. And whoopsie, you can do it now. Turn the page. PC. We fixed a style where engaging on a head-to-head, both in the Eliminator and free roam, is now fixed, so we should not get this stall moment anymore. And general, so there used to be a tree that appeared all of a sudden in Ek Balan cross-country racing event that caught some people by surprise. Now that tree is not there anymore, but I can assure you that tree is being replanted somewhere else. You can name the tree maybe Groot, I don't know. And yeah, so also we fixed an issue where festive decoration could incorrectly appear in free roam. So now, you know, if Christmas only happens once a year, so hopefully it should not be the case in August anymore. And that's it. As I said, you can find all the release notes on the support website, and that's it.
Cool.
Yep. We don't have time to talk about all the fixes coming
No.
in this update because there are a lot of them, but we'll be posting the full release notes in the usual places after the stream. So be sure to check those out. And I think it's been like a minute and a half, so we need to look at a new car. I'm coming out in hives. So this time we've got the Tacoma TRD Pro. Look at that. Pro. Already got it ready to go, so nice work. Very blocky car. Truck. So I shouldn't call it a car. I'll get eviscerated. But yeah, talk to us about the Tacoma TRD Pro.
Yep, as you say, it is a truck. It's Toyota's mid-size truck. So back in Series 5, we had the Tundra and the 4Runner, both TRD. The Tundra is their large pickup truck. Tacoma is their medium-sized one. And TRD meaning Toyota Racing Development.
You anticipated.
Yeah. And there's a 3-letter acronym I know I get asked. So this, in the same vein as the other two, is kind of a performance off-road version of the truck. So earlier on the SVT Lightning, that was very much built as a performance on-road truck. This is kind of going the other way. It's still fast, but it's built to be incredible off-road. It comes standard with Fox internal bypass shocks, which are amazing things. Please trust me. Internal bypass is like things I dream about. I really want some for my Land Rover.
I love it. I love it.
It's got internal bypass.
Internal bypass, yeah. It means
Laying in bed at night just dreaming of suspension.
I legit do.
It's a 5-seat as well.
Yep.
It is, isn't it?
Yes.
Racing division with space between the kids and the dog.
Oh yeah. Actually perfect for kind of going away camping, stick a roof tent on it. Yeah. Fantastic car for that. Unlike the Tundra, this is a V6. I think it's 370 horsepower. I'm sure I'm wrong. There's too many cars in the series. Yeah. But yeah, it's plenty enough to make it move quite quickly, and especially off-road where you don't have much traction. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. All right, bear with me here, but there's something really comforting about the aesthetic of this truck. I don't know what it is. It's like, it's blocky, but there's rounded edges. It feels like secure and safe. I don't know. That's giving me vibes.
Yeah, I really like the
I'm sure that
design as well.
that is music to the Toyota designers' ears.
I'm so comforted by it. I feel so safe. There's like more speed and aggression. Yeah. No, very nice. I think you could fit a whole family's worth of shopping in the back there as well. So practical.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of oranges.
Have this alongside your Ferraris so you can actually go
Yeah,
to shops.
this would be the one that's trailing the Ferrari with your golf clubs in the back, and your golf cart, and your golf workers.
Probably could get a golf cart in the back of that.
Yeah, I think you could,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so.
I should probably say this is one of the car pass cars for this series
Oh,
as well,
right, yeah.
just so people know how to get it.
Cool.
I mean, how much would this set you back in real life if you're going to purchase one of these?
I actually don't know that.
So it's TRD, isn't it? So it would be
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to buy this specific model from Toyota. I'm not sure what the Tacoma would be about. 45?
You can buy these from Toyota. You can get them from the Toyota
sorry,
dealership.
sorry,
Yeah. I think probably
stand corrected.
$45,000-$50,000
Not awful, is
at a
it,
guess. Yeah.
I'm so out of touch. It's not terrible.
You've got to be careful.
I feel like you could get...
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but then I'm so like out of touch with where it's like, well, this Ferrari would take you back about 500,000. So
Yes.
compared to all that.
Absolutely, compared to the SF90, this is
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a very cheap car.
This is the affordable car in the show. Okay, well, I think we need to talk about something very special today, and that is Thorben Thursday. So the eagle-eyed among you might have spotted that our regular Twitter teaser with Torben was posted on Thursday this week instead of Tuesday. What happened? Come on.
Well, what happened?
It was Easter. There was a couple of public holidays. Returned to the office on Tuesday.
Exactly.
Didn't have time.
Yeah.
Usually brains don't work very well when you eat too much chocolate, so we just
Yeah.
need to, take our time.
Sugar coma.
Exactly. No, but it was funny because this time we released obviously on a Thursday, and there were a few hints that for those of you that don't know what Thorben Thursday is basically when we leave some hints on a whiteboard, thanks to one of our designer Torben. And it basically kind of.
I think we can bring it up now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
See the image. So
Technology.
every week we
There we
bring up
go.
a picture like this, and there's some clues as to things that might appear
And
in
there's
the
Torben.
upcoming
Look at
update.
him.
And there's look at
Hard
it.
at work.
Pretty sweet. Yeah,
doing some
or hardly
design.
working.
Exactly.
So there's lots of clues hidden away here, and some
Yeah.
eagle-eyed viewers will have, made some connections here. So who wants to decipher them? What can we see?
Right. So let's go with the fact that this time felt a little bit easier compared to last time. So people managed to get more or less everything. You can see, for example, on the top right, you see a formula that's the gravity formula. So that was associated to the get gravity rule on the event lab. Then we see one of the very first that people got it straight away was Cavallino Rampante, which is basically the logo from the Ferrari logo. It's called La Cavallino Rampante. And L'Ingegnere, which in Italian means the engineer, and which is one of the Enzo Ferrari nicknames among Commendatore or I can't remember anymore. Wow. So perfect. No, but let's say L'Ingegnere is L'Ingegnere Enzo Ferrari. So they got it straight away. And there was a hint for the Ferrari, obviously. And then on top left, we have an exocode that people successfully deciphered as colors of the German flag. Now, why the German flag? Well, I'm going to let Mike talk about this later, but let's say that they got it right.
Oh,
the German flag.
Okay. And just to remind you as well that this is an actual real whiteboard that Torben does use every single day. So some of these clues might actually just be him doing his actual regular job, like calculating, what was it, the velocity of the sheep running across the road.
The sheep avoidance formula.
Yeah,
That is a very long formula.
Yeah, exactly.
So you never know, some of them are red herrings, which makes it all the more exciting.
Red herrings or real insights into future game designs? You decide.
Yeah,
It's hard to know.
if you can make sense of them, more power to you. It's a magical place, Torben's mind. Well, I think it's time again for another new car.
another
Yeah,
car?
let's do it. Of course, we're not finished because we've got to look at the Dodge Magnum SRT8. And here it is.
Chris, that's a wagon.
It is a wagon.
An American wagon.
An American wagon.
What's going on?
So this is a rare thing. Wagons aren't so much of a thing over there. And this car has become a bit of a cult classic now because it was around about the...
That
I'll just
Beatles
let
really
this Beatles
struggling.
through there.
Can you let Papa Fernando pass my thing?
Lost my train of thought now. Early noughties, there was a resurgence in the muscle car. So things like the Camaro properly came back, Dodge Charger, etc. This was kind of one of them. So this is Dodge Magnum SRT8, street racing technology.
Wow.
Because you'd ask anyway.
Yeah.
So this, they took their Magnum, which was their kind of wagon, very practical family car, and dumped a 6.1 litre Hemi V8 in it, 425 horsepower, making it a proper muscle car, with all the practicalities of what we know as in Europe an estate car, or a wagon for Americans. And yeah, absolutely amazing car. It's a bit overpowered, as you'd want from your muscle car.
Yeah, 425 is pretty high for the year, isn't it? But I guess Dodge. So,
Yeah, I mean, the Charger went on to eventually with the Hellcat 707. But the other thing is, this was incredibly rare. So they only made them in 2006 and 2008, not 2007 for reasons. In fact, it was more, they facelifted them in 2008 to this look, which is more in line with the Charger of the time. But they only made, I'm just going to check notes here, 239 of these, which makes it one of the rarest cars we have in the game.
wow.
I mean, like you say, it's interesting that they just didn't take off in America, like this style. Because I think, at least when I was growing up, they were everywhere in the UK. Estate cars were like huge, and not so much now. There's a lot more hatchbacks.
Yeah.
They are very, very popular in the UK, across Europe, and all of the UK manufacturers regularly produce what we would term estate versions of their cars. I guess Americans just have trucks.
They have trucks. Trucks and SUVs. I mean, SUVs have kind of taken that marketplace, but as you say, in Britain, I mean, if you go back to the 90s, even in touring cars, British touring cars, there was the Volvo estate touring car, absolute icon of a car. I very much love wagons.
Feels like it's very all or nothing with American cars. Like you're either in a little, a little tiny sort of thing, or you're in a massive SUV. I feel like we've got a bit more that medium in Europe, haven't we? Not so many SUVs, though. It feels like the trends are turning. There's a lot more SUVs coming in the UK. Yeah. So, any more interesting facts about this car then, the Dodge Magnum SRT8?
I can't think of any right now, nor do I know any celebrity owners. So.
I can't imagine why.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there won't. Like you touched on it being a rare car. It'll be super rare because people wouldn't have realised it was rare at the time.
Yep.
When you walked into a Dodge dealer and ordered this, you'd be like, oh, I want the muscle car. I want to be able to take the dog in the back. Or similar. You wouldn't have been thinking, they're only going to make a few of these. I'm going to get this. I'm going to keep it pristine. I'm going to sell it to the Peterson Museum. So that there'll probably be even probably hardly any of that number still trucking about and still in any kind of good condition, just because no one would have expected it to ever be that rare.
Yeah. All right. Well, while we're cruising around in the Dodge, we're going to have to say goodbye to Giuseppe. We're going to be switching out Giuseppe for Dave. So thank you for joining us, Giuseppe, and feel free to judge us from afar as we mispronounce.
I'll still be around. Thank you very much for having me here. And before I leave, I say Forza Ferrari since I'm here.
Thank you, Giuseppe, and hello, Dave. Come on in, take the judgment chair.
Hello.
Chair of judgment. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, it's good to be here. I'm very excited to be here. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you. Well, you got something quite specific to open with today, because we're going to be talking about the new clothing and car horns.
Yes.
So we've got new car horns this month, and we've got some new clothing to help us celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So let's have a look and tell us the story behind these.
Yes. So obviously Cinco de Mayo is a celebration. It's an annual celebration of Mexican cuisine, culture, and heritage, and we invite people to join in the celebrations with us in Forza Horizon. So. We've added some really cool, we kind of saw it on the stream earlier, we've added some really cool decorations around Guanajuato and other places, but we're also adding some really awesome character cosmetics, which we can actually see here. So this is actually inspired by the Puebla province, which is kind of where Cinco de Mayo originated from as well. So this outfit here, this Puebla Mexican suit, you'll be able to get in the festival playlist, which we'll talk about later, which looks absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely love it because it's just looks really, really cool.
I really love that sash.
Yeah.
She is rocking it. That's cool.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. And shout out to Florian who worked on this. We've also got some dresses as well, I believe.
Yeah, so we looked at some of these on the monthly show earlier. Now this is, look at the pattern on that, it's gorgeous.
Yes, so here you go, the white boy and purple dress and black one as well.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so all inspired by things within the Puebla region, and you'll be able to get these from the festival playlist. So we've also got some other outfits, I believe, as well.
Dresses, Dave, dresses.
Yeah, they're in the dresses.
Dresses. Oh, sorry.
You've done the same thing I did in the show.
This is good. The Mexican race suit. Yeah. So you'll be able to get this as well in the festival playlist. And if I go to the left, we have the Rueda Lion race suit. How cool does this all look? It looks very, very cool.
Yeah, and as we were just like, dresses, you brought a lot of the murals that, because I mean, we interviewed Farid Rueda a while ago on Monthly, and he was lovely, wonderful person. He's created a lot of these murals that you find in the game, and you've added a lot of the designs as dresses, which is awesome.
Full of colour, yeah, absolutely love them. I mean, there it is right there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, we're getting our use of that. You'll be able to get these in festival playlist.
Excellent. And we also have some horns as well. We've got 3 new horns, in fact.
3 new car horns,
Yeah.
yes.
So let's take a peek at one of them, and then you guys can find the ones for yourselves.
Yes, so we have 3. One of them is called Bass Drop. I will let you listen to that at home. And then we have another one called...
Falling. There it is.
Falling, yes. I hold for dramatic effect. There you go. Hey! Yeah, so when you're falling and you sort of go off-road and you fall down, you can just hold that and
I don't know about you, but every time I fall over, I do make a boing.
The real use case for that is when you've shoved somebody off a cliff, isn't it?
Oh yeah. And then say nice driving. And then we have nature as well. So farm animals.
You can't deny that is nature.
Very nice.
There is a
Cows
lot
do
of
exist within nature, so I think the name's accurate.
So yeah, you'll be able to get those as well, festival playlist, and enjoy.
There we go, all on the festival playlist. Excellent. I think we just got to look at another car, haven't we? There's no choice.
Yes,
we have to.
there's no choice.
We've got to go. Let's talk about 2 new cars. We have the 250 GT Lusso or the California T convertible. Which
What's he
should we
picked?
look at
What's he
first?
picked? I didn't see what he picked.
I went for the
Did I?
250.
Okay, good choice.
All right.
I've been watching Chris drive really well, and talk at the same time, but I'm going to try and drive while Chris talks about it, but it won't be as flashy. So it's just I'm just going to advance
I
warning.
clocked Chris driving one-handed and just like
Yeah,
gesturing with his
so
hand.
casually.
Yeah,
as
it's
if
like that's always
nothing.
my absolute recipe for disaster on these shows, where I'm talking and I start to gesture and go, oh god, I need that, I'm using that.
It's almost like my day-to-day is just permanently having a controller in my hand. Yeah, so 250 GT Lusso. Actually, so I personally think this is one of the prettiest Ferraris ever made. Turns out I'm not alone. This is considered one of the prettiest Ferraris ever made. It came in, so, I think this was early 60s, 62. 250, that denotes the cylinder capacity of the engine. So each cylinder is 250 cc's. It's a V12, 3 litre, do the maths. It's a really classic V12 in this as well that ran through, obviously all the 250s. I think it ran for about 20 years or so. This engine was in some form or another. And yeah, when it's paired with this incredible coachwork, I have a real soft spot for this car. I think the design's got a little bit of like Americana in it. And also a couple of celebrity owners on this one. Steve McQueen owned one.
Very cool.
I'm trying to remember who the other one was because I said two. I can't remember. Let's move on.
So Steve
Made
McQueen, there we go.
Yeah.
Steve McQueen, yeah.
He owns 2 of them. That's it. I mean, to be fair, when I think of like classic Ferrari, in my limited knowledge, that's exactly the kind of shape you think of, isn't it? Like
it's beautiful.
it's rounded headlights. I mean, gorgeous. That shape in the back. Yeah, very, very pretty.
Cool.
All right, let's take a look at the California T, the convertible. We did take a look at this on the previous stream as well, and for good reason, because it is it's a specimen. That's like a sort of classic Ferrari, like hallmark.
We should say the Lusso is 20 points in summer. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll get onto that. Not to
Yeah.
steal your
You
thunder
stole
for
my
later.
thunder.
Sorry.
That's my bit.
So now we get to see this in daylight because on monthly it was we're obviously at night.
Yes.
So here we can see it. I mentioned on monthly the rear kind of trunk line on it. I really like it the way the 3/4 panel sweeps up and the trunk line kind of comes back down and joins into it. It's a really beautiful car, this.
Yeah, it's a really interesting way to do it as well. It just comes up and like collects another piece and goes back down again.
Put the roof up, Dave. Put the roof
Yeah,
up.
roof up, and you can
Let's
even
see it,
put the
Dave.
roof up. Right, so
It's got a much more modern sleekness to it.
here we go.
In real time
In
as
real
well.
time.
In real time.
Yeah, I love this one. Just the way it stacks is very.
Please do not try this at home. Do not stop in the middle of the road.
It's very pleasing engineering. Isn't it?
Yeah, it really
Look
is.
at that.
Could you imagine if you're driving along and there was a Ferrari and they're just doing that in the middle of the road? Like you've got to wait.
I'd just stop and look at it.
Yeah, that's an absolute power play. I think I would do that. Like, you all have to stop and watch.
You'll wait
Yeah.
for me, I've got a Ferrari.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
2 drops of rain in the air. I must stop everybody so I can put my roof on.
Sounds about right. It's got a real nice sound to it as well. It's like really.
Yeah.
So this is the first time the F154 engine, the twin turbo V8 came in. Stat from earlier, first turbocharged Ferrari since the F40. Really hoping I'm right on that one.
I'm still shocked by it, but yeah. Great,
Yeah.
great stat all the same.
Yeah.
Even if you made it up, it's still cool. You know, I won't check, so I'll stay impressed by
Right,
it.
for the next show, let's do 2 truths and a lie. You give us 2. We'll figure out which one's a lie.
I'm just going to start interweaving loads of false facts into these things.
That's the best way to farm engagement. Let everyone else be like, actually, that's wrong. That's not right. Incorrect. All right, well, let's take a look at the festival playlist because we've waited long enough, haven't we? Let's have a look at all of the championships, the challenges and rewards that players can earn in this month's festival playlist.
Cool, let's start with photos.
Yeah.
So I've just realised that I forgot my glasses today and the festival playlist is quite, quite far down. So we didn't do
Old
this in
man Dave.
rehearsal.
Make
so-
sure he's on camera like
so-
as he kneels down.
Can we get
So
closer?
it's not going to be the best experience for anyone. Right, so genuinely, okay. Series progress, 80 points to get the Ferrari SF90. We've been looking at that awesome new car we're adding for this series, and that 160 points to get the Ferrari 599 GTO. Moving on. In summer, I'm going to try and get the pronunciation here. It's Ferrari 250 GT. Is that good?
Well done, Dave.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I'm actually impressed.
Thank you very much. Giuseppe's just off screen, and I need to get the pronunciation right. Okay, brilliant.
It was a Ferrari.
Ferrari 250 GT. Okay, all right, then we're good. And then at 40 points, you get the
Chaos.
1971 Ford Mustang. And let's move on. Oh, actually, let's go back. I'm very sorry.
Oh my gosh.
So the weekly challenge as well is all about the Volkswagen. So we talked about Cinco de Mayo and Puebla. Well, actually, there's kind of like a bit of a Venn diagram where Horizon and Cinco de Mayo meet, which is with the Volkswagen, because that Puebla is kind of the province where Volkswagens were manufactured quite a lot. So we've got the lots of kind of facts about the Volkswagen in the weekly. Moving on. So we showed you the Puebla Mexican suit. You can get that by doing the Aid of the Party trial. So make sure you check that out. And with our first Event Lab creation from the community, we have Unworthy Pleb, which is a great name, doing Horizon Jungle Cruise. I would try and read out what it says underneath that, but I'm afraid I cannot read it.
Just for clarity, that isn't the gamer tag. That's just how Dave likes to refer to our players.
That's what, sorry. Moving on. Brilliant. Awesome. Yeah, so we have some cool stuff here. The Seasonal Championship Chihuahua Express. That's actually a real life open race event in Mexico. Actually takes place in Copper Canyon. So we
I
kind
thought
of
that's just what you were
recreated
calling me when I got in the taxi on the way here.
So that's so we've tried to recreate that in Horizon. And moving on, we have some cool stuff here. Let's move on again. The first treasure hunt is fireflies. The treasure clue is fly the flyer like a bird to collect 5 stars.
What does it mean, Dave?
What does it mean? I don't know, but there's a firebird in the picture, so maybe that's your clue.
The clue's always in the picture, isn't it?
The clue's always in the picture,
The text
yeah.
is always red herring, so what does it
could
mean?
it be?
I'll just do what's in the picture and hope it works.
That's great. We have our photo challenge as well. So we were talking about kitting out Guanajuato with loads of cool stuff and loads of cool decorations. There's a photo challenge there, so make sure you go to Guanajuato, take any car you want, and take a picture of your car with the new stores that we've had in Guanajuato. They look amazing. Add loads of colour for Cinco de Mayo.
Lovely.
Fantastic. Moving on. Okay, in autumn we have the Ferrari California T and the Jaguar XKRS 15. Our weekly challenge here, we've got the Ford F150 Raptor, actually marketed under the Lobo name, which means wolf, I believe. So some cool stuff there, and make sure you check out the weeklies for all that kind of cool car facts. Moving on. Great, we have another event lab here. So this one is Baja California Stage, made by Subi156. Make sure you go check them out. You get the mini X-ray for doing so. And also, if you complete the Rallying Around Mexico trial, you get the Hoonigan RS200. Fantastic car. Everyone loves. If you haven't got it now, go get it, because it's amazing. Moving on. So, showed you all the Lion race suit. You can get that by doing the Black Jaguar Playground Games, so make sure you go and check that out to kit yourself with lots of colour. And moving on, we have a cross-country side seasonal championship as well. You can get a cool car horn as well, and lots of other cars. So let's move on to the photo challenge, which is #cultural heritage, where you take a picture of any cult car at Teotihuacan, and you will get the white modern Puebla dress, which is the one we showed as well. Let's move on to winter. Right, so here we have the Ferrari 512 test.
It's Ferrari 512 Testarossa.
I
Please
don't know if you
repeat,
heard
Dave.
that, but
People hear that?
the 512 Testarossa.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm butchering your pronunciation, which sounded
that's
fantastic, by the way. So that was fantastic. And then at 40 points, you get the MG. With the weekly challenge here, we've got the Voul, obviously a awesome Mexican supercar. Moving on, you can get a chance to get the Lambo Veneno in the Forza Fun shop, as well as getting the race suit, which I showed you. We've got the Carrera de... I'm really sorry, I can't read that one. I just can't read it.
It's okay, because people can read.
You can read it, right?
It on a
the
postage
trial,
stamp
you'll
size
get the
screen across
Mexican
the
race
room.
suit. I do apologise for this. An event lab. We have Chopped Bonsai, the Sierra Annual River Run. And again, what I really like about this one is the description kind of sets up this challenge from Ramiro. And that's actually something that we really love when people are making things in Event Lab, where the description actually puts you into a kind of it gives you a context to the things you're doing. So definitely go check that out.
Now that we put that in game, does that make that fanfic become official canon?
Yeah, as of right now.
Because I'm not actually sure what the story is about, so now I'm kind of
I can read it out.
slightly worried.
Okay, it's simply a tradition, Ramiro explains. We race on the dry riverbed to guide the river when it comes to the next season. Every driver who's worth his salt has completed the run and gave all the people watching a show to remember. Now it's your turn. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's actually really cool.
Good fanfic.
Yeah, it is good fanfic. Well done. And then we have another one. We have Coaster. I'm afraid I cannot pronounce your gamer tag. Niuina? Sorry. Yeah, you get the car horn, you get the falling car horn. I think there's probably something quite funny there where you might probably be falling off because it's called Coaster. Next. And let's go next again. Thank you. Fantastic. Yes, so chance here to get some other awesome cars, the Velociraptor, the Lumicraft. Let's move on again.
The falling horn.
And the falling horn with the Coaster Event Lab, because I imagine you will be falling off a lot. The treasure clue, this is on top of the world. Anything can break the stone door with a 3-star rating. What does that mean?
None of us
You
know.
have to go solve that. And then here, hashtag reaching stars. Take a picture with that awesome telescope we see there. This is actually also in the Puebla region as well, so we wanted to put that in for the photo challenge. Obviously the Cinco de Mayo. Let's move on to spring. So last but not least, we have Giuseppe to pronounce this one.
I can see from you. No, I'm joking. Like it's the Tributo, right? Yeah, it's the F8 Tributo. There you have it.
There you go. There you have it at 20 points. And then the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL at 40. Your weekly challenge, you'll be taking everything around in a Mise Manx, which is kind of quite a pretty significant car for the Baja 1000.
First Baja 1000 winner.
Exactly. So make sure you go check that out. Moving on. We have another event lab here. We've got Dave LaDave, who's got the Guanajuato racetrack. So make sure you go check that out to get the Donkervolt GTO. We've also got a chance to get the Bentley 8-litre in the Fiesta Siesta Repeat trial. You can get some fireworks car horns, which is really cool in the Playground Games. Moving on, you can get the sombrero here by doing the Baja Mil Seasonal Championship. And let's move on again. And there's a chance here to get the Toyota 2000 GT, like a Caracha. And last but not least, the photo challenge, Sleeping Giants. Photograph any truck near the Atlanta de Tula. So yes, lots of new cars, lots of fun things to do, loads of event lab, new cosmetics, new race suits. Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, let's say that one.
How's the eye strain?
Yeah.
It's
You
straining.
were visibly struggling.
Yeah,
there.
I was. Yeah.
I like how you managed to make that sound like a surprise to you as well. Like,
I mean, in rehearsal, it was like perfect. It was like right there in 4K, and now I was just. So sorry to everyone watching, but I tried. I tried.
you're just faking
you
them
made the
all
best
into
of
go
that
look at
situation.
themselves. As,
Yeah.
respectable.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, finally, we are going to be showing you one last car. Yay! It has been a bumper show for new cars today, but we've saved a pretty great one for the end. So, Chris, you're going to tell us all about the 512 Testarossa. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Yes.
The seal of approval.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that. Now that is a work of art.
Yeah, so we showed this on the monthly. As I mentioned, I had this on a poster along with things like an F40, F50, Countach. It's that kind of caliber of car from late 80s, early 90s. And I think there's few cars, when you look at it, show that time period in design as much as this thing. Just absolutely
cool.
incredible looking car.
Sounds amazing as well.
It really does sound amazing, yeah. So, as I also mentioned earlier, not a V12 in this, it's a flat 12, which is a little bit different, but allowed it to get that really low body line. I do actually know some celebrity owners in this one.
Go on.
Elton John had one.
That's good.
That's
My
That's a
favourite-
good celebrity.
That's a really good
My
celebrity.
I think, well,
People
No
will know
offense
who
to all the
that.
other
People will know who that is.
Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, and my favourite one,
Damn.
MC Hammer.
Hey.
You have to get this car.
So,
This
I mean,
is the coolest car
How
now.
rare are these?
Not as rare as other Ferraris. They did make quite a lot of them. They were quite a popular car, but as with all Ferraris, still quite rare.
Right. So as chances go, you can touch this.
Yes, yeah.
I like it.
That was great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how I can work that in.
So-
The lines are just so like visionary though. Like the way that the entire bodywork is designed there is so it looks like it's just designed for some like real moody, sultry nighttime drive under like city neon lights.
Oh yes. It definitely would have been under neon on that poster, right?
Oh
This
yeah,
is-
absolutely, yeah. I think of this. I mean, partly because of Miami Vice, but I just think of Miami with this car.
Yeah.
Like it would fit so in white.
And you're wearing a Forza Street T-shirt, which is set in Miami.
Yeah. What coincidence.
Yeah.
Lovely. All I think about when I see these though is how much of pain that must be to clean. Like in between
Oh, yeah.
all of those little
Little tiny toothbrush.
Yeah, you're cleaning away. I've seen these car detailing videos lately, and the pressure, the stuff they go through to get into all those little nooks and crannies. That would be, and you'd clean that often. You know, you wouldn't want that to get filthy.
It's funny you mentioned the neon as well, because you've obviously got those shipping containers in Event
Yes.
Lab. So shout out to all the creators out there.
Yeah, it's a
This
good
is
way
like
to
the
do it.
perfect photo opportunity to have this car under neon lights anywhere you want.
Yeah, get it done. I look forward to seeing those next Forza Monthly. So we're going to have to wrap it up here, but before we go, is there anything you can tell us about Series A? I think we might have a little picture we could bring up for us to
Yeah,
use.
yeah. Do you want to go to the coming soon? So Giuseppe touched on it earlier from the Thorben Thursday. There was a clue there that pointed towards the German flag, and that's because the theme for Series 8 is German automotive excellence. You can see some cars on the screen there. We're not going to go into any further detail there, but they will be included as part of Series 8. The reason we're kind of revealing them now is because they're actually included in this update. Sometimes we just include future content in an update just because it allows us to more efficiently get updates out to you on time. So we'll talk about this more in Series 8, in the Series 8 live stream in about 4 weeks' time, but there's a sneak preview. There's some cars. There's another wagon, Chris. Or an estate car, as we would call it in Europe.
Or an Avant, as Audi would
As
call
Audi
it.
would call it, yes. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, I've got all that to look forward to next month then. And that brings us to the end of our show. So thank you all so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my guests today for hanging out and enjoying the show with me. And we will see you all next month. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.